Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our main stories. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo challenges military to reinvent itself for relevance in modern technological warfare. Crisis in the All Progressives Grand Alliance deepens as two factions of the party lay claim to its secretariat in Abuja. Northern youth groups and Igbo leaders meet in Kano, set up joint committee to resolve October 1st ultimatum for Igbos to leave northern Nigeria. And 4 people are charged over government leaks as the Trump administration cranks down on official secrets disclosures. Now, for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Also, please log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. And here are some of the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal today. We begin in Lagos with a picture showing a bad road filled with heaps of sand at Borough Pit in Shongotedo area of the state. Our Eyewitness reporter complains that residents can no longer drive into their compounds, while some of the buildings vibrate due to the earth-moving vehicles that ply the route. He's begging the authorities concerned to look into it. Next is this picture showing an erosion-prone street in Jaleyemi area of Osogbo. Our Eyewitness reporter says the street needs urgent government attention as the rains and dirt deposited by residents have made it a dangerous place with attendant health consequences. Still on roads is this picture showing a bad road in Karim Lamido Lao local government area of Taraba State. According to our Eyewitness reporter, the road needs immediate intervention from both the federal and state governments. This final picture shows a flooded street in Ropopo area of River State. Our Eyewitness reporter says properties have been destroyed, and he's begging the River State government to come to their aid. Thank you for sending in these pictures, and we do hope you keep them coming. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, today paid a personal visit to President Muhammadu Buhari at the Abuja House in London. The Archbishop expressed delight in President Buhari's rapid recovery, describing it as a testimony to the healing powers of God and an answer to the prayers of millions of people around the world. A statement from the Special Advisor to the President in Media and Publicity says the Archbishop and General Buhari are friends who share a deep respect for each other. A 10-man committee has been set up to resolve the issues that broke out in the aftermath of the eviction notice issued to Igbos living in the north. The committee was set up today after a peace parley between people of Igbo extraction living in all northern states and some northern youth in Kano. Channels TV correspondent reports that the report from the committee will finally lay to rest the issues that triggered the eviction order. Speakers at the meeting have also identified the need for the two ethnic groups to live together harmoniously. The meeting comes 2 months before the October 1st deadline issued by the group of Northern Youth. And it's time to go on to our Abuja studios where Linda Ahibe is standing by. Hi, Linda.
Hello, Ladi. The debate on the need to restructure the Nigerian constitution and adopt the practice of true federalism continues among prominent Nigerians. This time, the former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, and the chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Professor Sagay, share divergent views on the subject. While the former governor is insisting that an attitudinal change is what Nigeria needs at this moment, Professor Sagay is soliciting for another national constitutional conference to restructure the polity. The views were shared at the 20th annual Wole Soyinka lecture in Benin City, the Edo State capital.
There is no part of Nigeria that is doing Nigeria a favor by being part of Nigeria. We should be talking to how to apply our national wealth in a way
Members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria today staged a protest to the headquarters of a National Human Rights Commission to mark 600 days of the detention of their leader and demand his release. The commission, on its part, is asking members of the group to document the claim that Sheikh El-Zakzky is blind while in detention. The acting executive secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Oti Ovrawa, explains that the commission is committed to ensuring that no Nigerian suffers injustice.
We have been coming to Human Rights Commission. We have been writing a lot of write-ups and submitting to them. We have reported a lot of reports to the Human Rights, but we are yet to hear a sound action by the Human Rights Commission. So that is why we are here today. Today is 600 days. Our leader is still under illegal detention with various degrees of injury. One of his eyes is already blind, and the other one is at the verge. So the Human Rights is doing nothing. That is why we are here to know their stand over the issue of this Zaria massacre. Is the Human Rights Commission involved in the massacre? So we want to know. We are here.
Just like you said, you've been here a number of times with your complaints, and the commission has forwarded those complaints to the appropriate quarters. So that's why we're asking you now, do you have another complaint written? Because you have said his eyes is blind, he's not allowed medical care, and a number of things. You need to do a complaint, a formal complaint. Do you have a document? Yes. We need that document, because with that document, we're going to get back to the authorities on your complaint. So that's what the commission is for. You have a right to protest. That protest has to be peaceful. I can see this is peaceful. That's what our law says. That's what the Constitution says. And the National Human Rights Commission is here for all Nigerians, for everybody.
Meanwhile, amid concerns over alleged human rights violation by the Nigerian military, the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has set up a judicial commission to review the armed forces' compliance with human rights obligations. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the acting president, Mr. Laolu Akonde, says the commission is empowered to review extant rules of engagement applicable in the Nigerian armed forces and the extent of compliance. The statement adds, and I quote, "The Commission equally has a mandate to investigate factors that might be militating against a speedy resolution of local conflicts and insurgencies, and also advise on means of preventing violations of international humanitarian and human rights law in conflict situations." End of quote. The 7-man commission, which is chaired by Honorable Justice Biobele Judgewell, is expected to commence work immediately and submit its reports within 90 days. In politics, the crisis rocking the All Progressives Grand Alliance is assuming a new dimension as two factions lay claim to the national headquarters of the party in Abuja. Relying on a Court of Appeal judgment delivered on the 10th of July, factional chairman of the party, Martin Agbasu, has stormed the National Secretariat to take possession. 24 hours later, the secretary of the faction of the party, led by Victor Oye, also visited the headquarters, describing the takeover as an attempt to derail the party. He accused Agbasu of violating a Federal High Court order restraining him from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. On Thursday, the 3rd of August 2017, supporters of Mr. Martin Agbasu break the locks of the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in Abuja, as men of the Nigeria Police Force provide security. With the gate wide open, Mr. Agbasu, accompanied by his supporters and under the watchful eyes of the police, walks into the Secretariat to take possession of it and address the press.
As we are aware, on the 22nd of May 2017, the High Court in Enugu issued an order of mandamus to INEC and police to recognize me as the authentic chairman, national chairman of All Progressive Grand Alliance. It took a little bit of time. They appealed that case. The appeal court affirmed it. And today, the Nigerian Police Force, as a responsible organ of government, has demonstrated their will to comply with rule of law.
But a day after the takeover by Mr. Agbasu, a national secretary of the faction of the party, which is led by Dr. Victor Oye, takes journalists around the building claiming that the forceful takeover by Mr. Agbasu is an attempt to derail the party.
You say you're a national chairman of the party, you have no constitution. You have to come and steal it. You have no manifesto of the party. You don't have any of the document of the party. You have to stage an armed gang to come and steal them from the office. And we learned that they are doing this because they want to organize a criminal convention to choose their so-called governorship candidate to deny Governor Obiano, the platform of ABGA to contest that. That is all they are trying to do.
Although the leaders of both factions, Martin Agbasu and Victor Oye, are laying claim to being the authentic national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, for some, the battle over the soul of the party may yet end up at the Supreme Court. When the news at 10 returns, Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation and the Bank of Agriculture sign an agreement to boost farming productivity in the country. That's some business news. Join us again.